Hello everyone and welcome to February's CompTIA A+ study group. We have a lot in store for you today. We got about 10 questions lined up, so go grab a cup of coffee, whatever you need to do, and let's get started with CompTIA's A+ study group. If you're like me and studying for your CCNA or any other IT certification, make sure and check out Pluralsight. With over 5,000 different IT courses to offer and key tools such as mobile content and practice exams, Pluralsight is one of the leading IT e-learning platforms. Use the link in the description to receive a free 10-day trial. Welcome back everyone. So this is February's CompTIA A+ study group. So what many of you may know, CompTIA has recently introduced their new 10 series, their core series exam for the CompTIA A+ study group. Now, I will say this study group here, this month's study group, is strictly the 901 and 902 series exam. I did that for a couple reasons. The main reason is I know several of you out there are still trying to hurry up and get your 901, 902 series exam passed. So I figured I'm going to continue to help put out content for those exams. But if you are currently studying for the 10 series, the 1001 or the 1002 exam, this material is still on that exam. Almost everything I've included in this study group today will be on your 10 series exam. So it's still great content, but this is a little bit more focused for those who are looking to finish up their 901 or 902 series. So with that said, let's jump right on in. Again, if you're just tuning in, every single month I host a CompTIA A+ study group. I really don't have an exact day I host these on. I try to at least just put out one a month. And what this is I'll put up a series of questions on the screen. Most of them will be multiple choice. And what you can do is in the chat chime in if you think you know the correct answer without Googling it. Go ahead and chime in the chat and let me know. And then after the study group, if you guys have some questions, I'm going to open this up into an Ask Me Anything where if you have questions about the IT field, salaries, jobs. You guys can see one of my little ones behind me. He joined me here in the office today. But anyways, if you have any questions, feel free to chime in the chat and I will do my best to answer them. So with that said, let's dive right on into our first question for February's CompTIA's A+ study group. Okay. First question. Which of the following standards provides a data transfer rate up to 800 megabits per second and a maximum cable length of 100 meters? Which of the following standards provides data transfer rates up to 800 megabits per second with a maximum cable length of 100 meters? Is it A, IEEE 1394A, IEEE 1394B, USB 2.0, or IEEE 1284? If you think you know the answer, feel free to chime in on the chat here. Let's take a look here. Pull up make sure, see if anyone's chiming in the chat yet. So, we got four different possible answers here. We're talking about data transfer rates up to 800 megabits and 100 meters. So this is definitely something. All these questions today came right from the CompTIA exam objectives, and like I said, these are more focused to 901 and 902 series for those people who are trying to hurry up and finish and get A+ certified on the older series before June, I believe, is when CompTIA has set the 901, 902 series to expire. So, but this is all still stuff that could still be on the 10 series exam. So it's all good knowledge to have. So let's go ahead and take a look at the answer. So the correct answer here would be B, IEEE 1394B. So, IEEE 1394B is also known as Firewire 800, and it does provide transfer speeds up to 800 megabits per second uh, and a cable length of 1,000 meters. So, unlike IEEE 1394A, which is Firewire 400, that only provides speeds up to 400 megabits per second and only 4.5 meters. So, these are all standards you need to memorize for your CompTIA exam. Really quick, USB 2.0. The USB 2.0 specification only allows transfer rates up to 480 megabits per second and only over 5 meters. And IEEE 1284 or parallel has data transfer speeds up to a maximum of 2 megabits per second and a cable length of 10 meters. So these are all standards you need to know, and you need to know what the parameters. How far can these standards transmit, and at what rates can they transmit as well. So awesome. Well, let's go on into our next question. I got about 10 questions for you guys today. So, which of the following components is a non-volatile memory technology for saving system settings when a computer is powered off? Is it A, a CMOS chip, B, an EEPROM chip, C, BIOS password, or D, a CMOS battery? Which of the following components is a non-volatile memory technology for saving system settings when the computer is powered off? If you're just joining in, we are doing our February's CompTIA A+ study group. If you think you know the answer, feel free to drop it in the chat. So this question is in reference to non-volatile memory. There's a difference here. So let's go ahead and display the answer. So the correct answer is B again, EEPROM chips. So EEPROM chips are non-volatile memory technology for saving system settings when a computer is powered off. EEPROM are also known as, or is also a type of a ROM, a random access memory chip that has replaced the CMOS chips. The CMOS chips needed a battery to save the system settings. So now CMOS chips are only really used as for real-time clock running. CMOS is more just for your clock time, and where your EEPROM is really taking over saving your system settings because it is non-volatile. So if that CMOS battery is to go dead, you would lose your settings in your CMOS chip. So that's why EEPROM has taken over. So awesome. Well, hopefully you guys got that one right. Let's go on to the next one. Which of the following components is an example of firmware? Which of the following is an example of firmware? We got A, cache, B, EEPROM, C, CMOS, C, BIOS or UEFI BIOS, or D, RAM. So which of the following of these is an example of firmware? Oops, hold on a second here. There we go. Okay. Which of the following is an example of firmware? If you think you know the answer, feel free to chime in the chat. So let's go ahead and show the answer here. The answer here is C. So an example of firmware would be your BIOS or UEFI BIOS, as is more commonly found in today's computer. The basic input-output of the system, BIOS, and Unified Extensible Firmware Interface, UEFI, is an example of firmware. So, awesome. An external laptop is external laptop keyboard is generally connected to the laptop system board using which of the following? So an internal laptop keyboard is generally connected to the laptop system board using which of the following? A mini Molex connector. B, a USB connector. C, a PS2 port. Or D, a ribbon cable. Alright. If you know the answer, feel free to chime in the chat. We've got 4 possible answers. We're talking about an internal laptop's keyboard. There's a keyword there, internal. So, let's go ahead and reveal the answer. The answer here would be D, a ribbon cable. So, a laptop is generally connected to the system board using a flat ribbon cable. PS2 ports are typically, as an older legacy style port, is typically used to attach an external device such as keyboard, mouse, and you typically see those on an older laptop. Nowadays, we use USB connectors for such connections of an external keyboard or mouse. This is an external one, you connect it via USB. So the question here asks for an internal connection. So a ribbon cable was the proper answer. And then mini Molex connector, that's a type of power connector. So you see those like on older laptops with floppy drives and stuff like that. So awesome. Cruising right along here. Which type of interface is typically used for internal wireless networking cards in laptops? Which type of interface is typically used for internal wireless networking cards in laptops? You really got to watch these questions and how they're worded. A, mini PCI. B, ExpressCard /32. C, USB. Or D, FireWire. Which type of interface is typically used for internal wireless networking cards on a laptop? If you think you know the answer, feel free to drop it in the chat there. Looks like some people are starting to chime in. GOV, hello, welcome. Hope you're enjoying the stream. If you guys are just tuning in, this is our February's A+ study group. We're about halfway through it now. But every month I try to do a A+ study group, and I'll give you anywhere from 10 to 15 questions, and I try to build it as another resource for you guys to find study material that's free for you guys. So if you feel like participating, go ahead and drop your answers in the chat. So let's go ahead and bring it back here. So which type of interface is typically used for internal wireless networking cards? The answer is A, mini PCI. Most internal network cards in a laptop are using a mini PCI interface. USB, FireWire, and ExpressCard are all external buses for external devices. So the only thing here that's actually an internal connection would be a mini PCI. So all the other ones are for an external type of connection here. Awesome. Well, it looks like we got some people answering that one and got that one right. So next question. Your laptop has an ExpressCard /54 slot. Which of the following is true? And I want you guys to pick 2 answers. So an ExpressCard /54, which of the following are true? And you guys got to pick 2 answers here. Either A, it's an L-shaped type of connector. B, a rectangle shape. C, it's a 68-pin connector. D, it's 54 millimeter wide at the connector. Or E, it's 34 millimeter wide at the connector. Which of the following is true here? Awesome. If you think you know the answer, feel free to drop it in the chat again. Give it a couple more minutes. All right. So let's go ahead and reveal the answer here. So your laptop has an ExpressCard 54 slot. Which of the following statements is true? And you guys need to pick two answers here. So the correct answer is A, it's an L-shaped connector, and E, it's 34 millimeters wide at the connector. So a 54, ExpressCard 54 is 34 millimeters wide at the connector, but it is 54 millimeters wide on the outside edge. That's where it gets to 54. An ExpressCard 32 is a rectangular shaped card that are 34 millimeters wide. Sorry, ExpressCard 34 is a rectangular card that are 34 millimeters wide. So, and then older PC cards used a 64 pin connector. So, but the two correct answers here was A and E. Cruising right along here. So, which of the following actions is not recommended for keeping your computer cool? So, we're talking about PC cooling here. Which of the following actions is not recommended to keep your computer cool? A. Add heatsink to memory, video, and chip components. B. Remove unused expansion card slot covers. C. Add liquid cooling system. D. Use rounded cables. Or E. Keep internal components clean. So which of the following is not recommended to help keep your computer cool? If you know the answer, feel free to drop it in the chat. All right. And the correct answer is B. So you do not want to remove unused expansion slot covers from your system case. The system case is typically a pressurized system and carefully designed airflow which directs air outside outside air across the components and then out of the case. When you remove system covers and expansion covers, you modify the airflow path, which typically reduces the cooling efficiency. It also can allow dust to be introduced into your system, which will reduce the system cooling efficiency and all that. So you definitely don't want to remove unused covers. Now, if this is a system you built on your own, I mean, I still personally would never recommend removing those covers. You know, you always want a positive airflow into your computer. When possible, pull it through a filtered medium to try to collect that dust before it gets in. And yeah, they're there for a reason. So definitely, I'd leave those on there. Awesome, guys. Well, I only got two more questions for you today. And then if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to drop them in the chat. And I will do my best to answer them. So, which of the following will ensure optimal system cooling? So we're talking about cooling again. Which of these following will ensure the optimal system cooling? And I want you to pick three of these. And one of these you shouldn't pick because it was just on the last one. You guys should know this. So, which of the following will ensure optimal system cooling? Removing side panels on the case. Leaving space between the case and any walls or obstructions. Bundling cables together and securing unused cables in the case. Keeping the ambient temperature below 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Removing unused expansion slot covers to increase airflow. And stack hard drives next to each other. So which three of these should you do to optimize your cooling performance of your PC? Pick three of these. It should be pretty straightforward, but you know, these are things that are going to be covered on your CompTIA exam. So these are I always want to talk about these kind of things. If you think you know the answer, feel free to drop it in the chat. Sorry, guys. Apparently my microphone went off there. So, which of the following expansion buses is most commonly used for devices such as sound cards, modems, and network cards? A. PCI. B. VESA local bus. C. ISA. Or D. AGP. I apologize about the audio cutting out there. So if you think you know the answer, feel free to drop it in the chat. We're going to wrap this up here pretty soon. I got kind of a lot going on today, and I want to try to record a couple more videos. I know I've been doing a lot of live streams lately, and I've just been crazy busy traveling a whole lot and stuff. So I want to start going back to recording some more videos. I have a lot going on with my CompTIA, or not CompTIA, Cisco CCNA. I'm going to be doing more of those study groups more. And then also going to be doing some Windows Server 2016 videos as well, because I'm currently studying for my MCSA as well at this time. So, all right, so let's go ahead and display the answer here. The correct answer here is A, a PCI. PCI buses are most commonly used for devices like sound cards, modems, and network cards. Awesome. So, last question here. Which expansion bus is the best solution for high-speed, high-resolution, three-dimensional graphics? Sorry, guys, about my little one in the other room. So, which expansion bus is best suited for high-speed, high-resolution, three-dimensional graphics? A. VESA local bus. B. AGP. C. PCIe. Or D. Just regular PCI. Hopefully this should be pretty. We just talked about some of these in the last question. So high speed, high resolution, three-dimensional graphics. All things are going to be covered on your CompTIA A+ exam. So. All right. If you think you know the answer, feel free to drop it in the chat. Correct answer here is C, PCIe. PCIe is a newer PCI Express, offers a better performance than your typical PCI card. So that is actually all our questions for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed the study group. I hope you found it helpful. If so, make sure and leave a comment. Let me know if you would like me to do anything different with these study groups. Definitely give me a comment. Let me know. Give me some feedback. So otherwise, I hope to continue doing one of these every single month. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I will do my best to answer them. We're going to wrap this up here pretty quick, though. Got some other stuff I got to attend to today. So, Life Advocate, thank you for tuning in and participating. I really appreciate it. GOV, again, also thank you for tuning in. Again, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If so, make sure and like and subscribe. If you know someone studying for the A+ exam, make sure and tell them about it. Share it out on the social media. Let's let this be a resource to help other people studying. IT career skills, or IT career questions. Yo, thanks for tuning in. Though we're just wrapping up the stream, so I really appreciate you guys today for tuning in. Until next time, take it easy.